It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Good morning, model railroaders. Welcome to, what is this, Modeling Monday. My name is Heath. This is Humanity Junction, and I hope everyone has had a great start to your week. On my side, you'll see we're running some of our railroad shows that are a part of our community. If you have a show and you don't see it up there and you'd like to be added to the list, please send an email to either myself or to John at Schuylkill River Valley, and we will do what we can to get you added to the list as soon as possible. While we're running that list, let's take a quick look and see who has joined us this evening in the chat. We've got the birthday boy Adam Cruz, apparently still recovering from his debauchery over the weekend. We've got Bangachu Junction Carl in the house, Bernard C. here as well. We have James from Boulder Creek Yard. Digger Evans, I was not in Little Nicky, but if you go to the IMDb, I believe there is one, I have like one credit from a TV show or something. So I am listed. We'll see if anybody can find it, if anyone's up for that. Joe Rader, Black Rock Central in the house. Alan from Jumping Someone Else's Trains. Alan, haven't seen you in a little while. We've got Lynn McCurdy coming in from Death Valley. Nisi J in the house. Norm Miller, I saw you're having some tornadoes. Keep your head down, sir. Roy Eltham in the house. Roy, I am so glad that somebody noticed that I had thrown those models away. I didn't think anybody noticed that because nobody mentioned it in the picture, so I wasn't sure if anybody noticed it. John from Schuylkill River Valley is here. Steve Childers in the house. And Steve 87th PSAP. So I took a note last week because David Adkins said, why don't you write it down? And I wrote it down, and I've got my my blue tack. So I'm going to work on some detail parts, and we'll see if I can figure out how to make this come in handy for that. So I am going to do some more of my National Model Railroad Buildoff. I do also have a couple of things behind me here that I do want to show off before we get into that too much. I believe this is our last set of shows that are listed, and then we're going to start bringing up some of our guests that are hiding out in the basement. Nope, it was not an episode of Family Guy. So keep looking, keep checking. I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually. But we've got Steve Childers, the Retirement Railroads here. We've got Greg from Midsummer Railway N Scale, and we have James from Boulder Creek. How's everyone doing this evening?
Good morning.
Doing great here.
All right.
Good morning, good morning. So, Steve, let's start with you. What projects are you working on this evening?
Well, as you can see, the corn got planted on the back, so now I'm ready to start on some stack grass. And I built a new, improved version of the static grass applicator, so fixed it up this morning. So couldn't give it a try today.
So this is a home brew version of static grass applicator, not something you purchased.
Correct. I think everybody's seen the fly swatter home versions that people have made. All right. Well, I've had that one. It did okay to write home about. But Luke Towan had a different version, and then Larry Puck, the cable guy, not the cable guy, TCC guy,
TCC guy. Yes.
did some modifications, and so that's what I built here. All right, and it's got a far superior negative ion generator to it, and indicator lights, and I got 2 different screen sizes I can use on it for the different size static grass. So we're in a shot tonight.
So basically what you're saying is we should keep an eye on you, because if anybody's going to get shocked during this stream, it's probably going to be you.
Well, that's the nice thing about this. This screen here is not charged. All right, the charged screen is inside back there.
There. Yep. That's the best modification. It works so much better.
So, sorry, I'm sending a text real quick. So, one thing that I've learned is when you have the static grass in there, and you want to switch from like 2mm to 4mm, that before you reach your hand into the bin and touch that back little part, that you, well, not only discharge it, but turn it off and unplug the battery would be really good as well. So, yeah, I would recommend those 2 things.
That's the gator light.
Nice. So, Greg, what are you working on tonight?
I'm going to. Sorry, one of my cameras has stopped. I'm going to try and finish off one of my houses.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to work on.
Cool.
And Steve, those static grasses. I had one which was on the outside, and I modified it to the inside. Works so much better. They're really good.
I purchased the Woodland Scenic Static Grass when I was doing my Christmas 2019 sort of diorama. I wanted it right away, and that was just what the guy at the shop had. So that's what I sort of ended up with getting for myself. But
I started with the fly swatters, and I found that the fly swatter was great, but it didn't work as well, and I ended up getting it's about a 50 kV transformer, and about 6 inches away you can make the static grass jump around.
Yeah.
Mine's 20 kV.
More power is a good thing.
Oh yeah, power to the people.
So James, I see your NMRBO dioramas gotten a little progress. What are you working on tonight?
Putting in a bunch of, I don't know if it shows up on the camera or not, but a bunch of conduit.
You're really quiet tonight, James.
Because the microphone's all the way on the other side of the room. Is that better?
That is much better.
Let me move the microphone. There we go. I'm going to be installing a bunch of conduit with brass wire on stuff.
Conduit with brass wire, nice. You're getting into all the details, aren't you?
Yeah, I figure since I'm going to keep this around for more than just this contest, why not?
That's awesome. Yep. I don't disagree. I'm not sure I'm going to get that far along with mine, but yeah, I definitely believe in details making the diorama, like the lighting or any sort of animation or just those little details.
Yeah, I've already got some lights on some stuff, but I need to order a couple more things.
Nice. Well, yeah. Seeing what you're doing with yours, you know, I will not be any competition for you. That is for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always next year to take what you learn now and apply it that or later.
And that's 100% why I'm doing this, is just for the experience of doing the models for no other reason, just to...
I've never done this conduit stuff before, so this is a first for me.
Oh, cool. Oh, there you go. Well, you'll have to, we'll have to check in with you in a little bit and see how that's going.
All right.
Lynn McCurdy.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to the party. How you doing?
Fine.
What are you working on tonight?
I don't know if you saw on Facebook from Saturday, but show and tell time. Not new, but new to me. We have a DCC and sound steam engine.
Oh, yes.
If I can get it out of the box without breaking
Nice.
it. Went up to Death Valley, Ridgecrest, and ran it, tried it out on their layout up there, and kind of hard to see with me holding it. I'm trying not to break it.
Yeah.
And it'll be at the show in a couple of weeks. Only 2 weeks until our show. So.
And I'm sure it'll be here before you even realize it.
Yeah, it's coming up fast. Yeah. Got to get trailers and everything ready to roll.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
got a few building projects, but I'm kind of waiting until after the show and a little road trip after that. So right now I'm just working on rolling stock and trains and a little something like this. Getting these all ready, making sure couplers at the right height.
Yep. I love all your bins of stuff. I just got a train car for Mother's Day, and I haven't. It's got the old style coupler on it, and I bought some trucks to swap them out. So
Great.
I'm hoping that'll come in, and I'll be able to do a little run-in of this guy for next Sunday for Sidetracked Sunday. So I have a little Mother's Day car for that planned. But yeah, Tim, who are you asking who's 90 years old? Are you talking about me? I think some diggers trying to guess what movie I was in. I was not in The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, so...
You were in a Lollipop Guild?
I'll give people a clue. I was doing the tech. I was not actually in it. I was behind the scenes. I do want to get people are talking about asking if I've ever seen a GG1 in person. I have not. I would love to get out to I forget where it is. Somewhere they've got the 4800 and the 4935. And I would love to go wherever that is, where I can't remember right now, but I do hope to get a trip out there and go there. Dave says, Heath, I didn't know you were a mom. I'm not a mom, but as probably about 50 to 60% of us, we all have mothers, or at least we were born to mothers, most of us. The ones that weren't born to aliens or
Came from
or
an
other
Did you
sort
get
of
her the Mother's Day card?
creatures. So yeah, so that's more of the honoring the moms, not that I am a mom.
I kind of wondered about that when you introduced the Mother's Day card. So
Yeah, I'm sure that was people could not tell that I am not a mother.
yeah, no.
Another thing I got recently, though, people are talking about GG1s. This is the 2332 from Lionel. If you can't tell, it is not a operating unit. it is actually a piggy bank. So I saw this for, I think it was like $20 or something like that on eBay, and I said, I think I need to have that. So
the original Lionel was.
say that again, James.
Isn't that about how accurate the original Lionel was in terms of length?
Pretty much. Well, it's kind of fun. So here is a
Not far off.
here's a K-line O gauge, and it's a little bit more squished than the O gauge, but it is actually pretty close to the Lionel O gauge units. So yeah, it's not
Pretty
too
cool
far.
looking.
Yeah, Anthony, they may have called me a mother, but there were probably a couple extra words at the end of it. Oh,
No.
is there in Syracuse? The New York Fairgrounds have a GG1 on display. Which GG1's at the Syracuse Fairgrounds? I didn't know that. The GG1, I don't believe, is in Wisconsin with the big boy. The GG1's in Strasburg, I thought, and I believe the 611's coming to join it. I don't think there's a GG1 in Wisconsin, though. They generally didn't get out that far, so I don't think it's... I don't know. Bernard says, I sent my stepdad a brass SD9, but never sent my mom any trains. Yeah, well, I did way back in the day. My sister and I actually made a N-scale loop around a... What are those things called where you put the baking soda in the top and they flow over, like one of those volcano things? We put a little N-scale train around the bottom of a volcano, so when the volcano erupted, it would, come out and then down over the tracks. But just a little bit of fun. Something else I want to show before I get into what I got planned for today is this little item right here. This is an MRC Soundmaster 210. And this came from Frank, Steeler Fan 820. And I went and got one of these little tiny speakers. And I'm going to plug this in because it does actually work.
Cool.
The reason he sent it to me is because I'm a fan of the circus stuff. And let's bring everything up. Where's the on button? There we go. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this or not, so we'll see if this is going to work or not. But here's the reason he sent it to me.
Nice.
So in addition to that, it's got like conductor sounds. It's got air relief brake. Oh. So, it's a little toy that I have to play with. My guess is I will take it out of this case and see how big all the circuit boards and stuff are inside of it, and see about maybe, modifying it to make it a little bit more streamlined, and a little bit less of a big, huge box. But yeah, so Frank Steeler Fan 820 sent it. I got a speaker, and it's a lot of fun. I love this stuff.
Good.
I tell you, this thing's pulling the loose grass right up off of the ground.
Yeah, it'll do that. That's for sure.
Is it me or is it Steve that's breaking up?
Steve has been breaking up a little bit. He's breaking up last week as well, and I'm not sure why.
Right.
What is he doing?
I mean,
Maybe it's
Steve-
his Bluetooth connection.
but at the moment,
He's trying to use his static grass applicators, is my understanding, but so Nathan, my favorite modern circus group, and I hate to say it's probably a cliche answer, but I really like the stuff that Cirque du Soleil has been doing. My favorite old school circus group, I don't know the answer. I really like the European one-ring circuses. I've always been really interested in circus because while, yes, they do have the animals and stuff like that, for me it's always been more about what the humans can do. And the tricks and the time and the effort that the people put in to be able to do these sort of amazing tricks and stuff like that. So the European one-ring circuses have always really interested me for that reason. But
I have to admit, I was spoilt with circuses. When I was a kid, I saw the Moscow Circus here in Melbourne, and it was a 3-ring, absolutely extravaganza. And no circus has ever been the same since.
Yeah, Steve, is that you breathing heavy? Yeah, I saw the Moscow Circus in a theater show, and it was amazing. Just really amazing, the stuff they did. But yeah, I have one of the parts of the circus I really like as well, though, is just the idea that it traveled. Back in the day when circuses were a lot more popular, you didn't have the internet. So if you were ever going to see any of this kind of stuff, it had to come to you. And I love the fact that they would lash up these 100-car trains and pull them around the country and set up these circus tents, and I just thought that was really incredible.
I've got I know a friend who's a pastor to the circuses here in Australia.
Yeah, that's very common.
And he's travelled around. He's been doing a fair bit of work during COVID because there was a lot of suicides in the circus. Because it's
a tough business when your business is in performing and there's no shows going on. I'm pulling right now. These are Ringling Brothers flat cars, and I've got my little Humanity Junction billboards on them here in the back of my layout. So
they look good.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Did you see the video I took of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus?
I sure did. Yeah, that's really incredible.
If you want to share that with everybody, you're more than welcome to.
I will have to find that again to be able to share it. I do not have that ready right now.
Oh, no, I know that, but, for a later date, I can send it again to you.
I think it's in, I think you sent it over Facebook. I probably still have it in my Facebook list of stuff. I guess too, while we're talking, before I get into my little project, I just pulled out some parts. The first thing I'm going to do is put the little braces on the roof piece to hold the roof on with this. And then I'm going to get into these pieces and put in the drain spouts and stuff. But before we do, I do just want to mention there's somebody that has been a part of our community for a long time. He's been going through a little bit of a rough time. And one of the things that I'm looking to do is just sort of, I guess, a little bit, recognize what he's been up to. He really loves East Broadtop, and he designed some buildings for East Broadtop, and this is the East Broadtop HOHON3 boiler house. This is an add-on Craftsman structure kit, and this is something that he went and he designed the machine shop, and he designed the boiler kit and made them available for sale. He's been having a little bit of a rough time these days, and I just wanted to kind of give him a shout out. If you don't know, his name is Nate. Some people call him just Nate. but he's
no.
his YouTube channel is Nate HON3 Nate HON3 East Broadtop, I think is the name of his channel. But if people were thinking about getting one of his kits, if people were into East Broadtop or narrow gauge railroads, it'd be great if we could support him by purchasing one of his kits. If you do know him personally, it would be great just to reach out to him and say hello. Just let him know what you're up to, and just let him know that we're thinking about him. So
Good.
I just wanted to mention that. So yeah, John's posted the link. This link will take you to that page that I just shared, which is where he has his kits online, his website. So yeah, I wish I thought more about circus trains back when you would see them all the time, because they used to just be everywhere, and now they're nowhere. So yeah, it's definitely definitely an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lost part of American history, for good or bad, depending on your thought on circuses. But yeah. So I'm going to get in here, and I'm going to attempt to do a little work on this guy. First thing I'm going to do is secure the roof. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is take these little dividers out. These just kind of help to keep this base square. And I am going to... Adam Cruz says we need Steve to move his camera, not the best view that everyone is seeing.
Somebody noticed that. That's why I asked what he was up to.
I don't know if Steve knows that I have him muted or not, so he may be trying to talk to us.
I think you should be used to that by now.
Probably. I had there was somebody on Friday's stream that was talking the entire time.
Yes.
And did not realize.
I knew I was muted. That's why I had the shot vac going.
On Friday, this guy didn't realize he was muted and was talking the whole time, thinking he wasn't muted.
And everybody was asking why he wasn't saying something.
Well, we were wondering. I mean,
He normally talks a lot.
He does, but then there are moments where he's very quiet. So,
True.
No, Roy, my listing is for Heath. I'm curious for a short. Now I got to go look at IMDb and see what my listings say, because it should be IMDb. I think it's so funny that people are still trying to find this. Oh, there are two things. That is true. Nope. I forgot about that one. Yes, that was something that I was in. That was a movie that I was in for a friend. I helped a friend out. I totally forgot about that one. But yes, I was in that as well. But that's not what I thought comes up. There's another thing that I did, but I don't know where it is. That's okay if you can't find it. Roy did an advanced search on IMDb to find it. Oh, that's too funny. Maybe the listing I was thinking of is under Playbill. Maybe. I thought it was Playbill.
You'll have to put us out of our misery in a minute, Keith.
And just tell you what I was thinking of? Isn't it more fun to keep people guessing?
Well, I'm trying to model, and I'm going, okay.
Yeah, the other one's not coming up anymore. Maybe it fell off. Maybe it fell off at some point. But yeah, no, it probably just fell away. It was an HBO special from a long, long time ago. So I don't know that it's still, I don't know that it still shows up anywhere. It probably
And what
doesn't.
was it? Come on, what was it?
It was. I don't even remember the name of the comedian. It was an HBO comedy special that came to the theater I was working at the time, and I ran the lighting, so
Oh,
I
wow.
had a credit in the show.
Well, I had one too. There was actually three of us. Back in the 70s, we put in 180 TVs for the Paul Hogan show.
Paul Hogan,
Yes.
the guy that drinks the Foster's beer, Paul Hogan.
Yes. This is a knife. No, this is a knife. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Crocodile Dundee. Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee. So I used to be, this was when I was an apprentice, and we sponsored the Paul Hogan show. So we went to Paul Hogan show. I've met the whole crew, worked with the whole crew, but there is two particular clips where three-sided of colour TVs, and we spent 3 or 4 days wiring
Yeah.
boards up so as we could get signal to them. And they used it for Marsha Hines, which is an Australian singer, and then another group called L58 because they loved it so much. And that was some of our work, yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of, what are those called? LED installs that are behind, things that if I was not under NDA and I could tell you about, everyone would be like, "Oh, I saw that."
Yeah. No, I understand that, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so we had a private party also, so where we met all the crew and Paul Hogan, and it was good in those days. We did a lot of things because Sanyo had sponsored quite a few different shows, so we were involved in the TV industry awards, setting up, taking down, all that sort of stuff, but all behind the scenes, of course.
Adam Cruz is working on a first-gen Bachmann Acela. I want to get some of those Amtrak trains. I don't have... For a guy that lives so close to the Northeast Quarter and has pretty much spent his entire life on the Northeast Quarter riding Amtrak trains, I do not have any... That's not true. I have some Amtrak stuff, but I have very, very little of it, and nothing newish, I should say, meaning like I bought some stuff back in the 80s that I still have, but that's about the extent of it. And these why are N-scale parts so small?
Good question.
Good question. Because they are.
I mean,
I have to get my glasses out.
That's why I just put my glasses on because I couldn't see.
I've
couldn't
had
see
them on.
anything.
Yeah.
Bernard C says they're glad that they stopped posting his picture up at the post office. I'm lucky to say I've never had my picture hanging at the post office.
No, me neither.
So another model railroader is on IMDb, or at least I'm pretty sure it's him. Have you ever watched Toyman Television?
Of course.
Dale, he's on there for a couple of movies, I think back in the 80s or something.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
I'm pretty sure that's him. Don't Go Into the Woods, Plan from Outer Space, The Vero Mission.
I could totally see him. I could see him being an actor.
I think he was an actor in at least one.
Oh, that's really awesome. Roy is claiming that the N scale parts are exactly the right side. The right size. I can read. Edward Katie says, my sister worked with Kevin Bacon and his brother Michael. I've eaten a lot of bacon, but I've never worked with Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon and his brother Michael Vegan.
Who is his brother?
I was joking about him being Kevin Bacon, and I heard a joke about his brother being like the knockoff Bacon or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
Or brother Michael Turkey Bacon or something like that.
Canadian bacon.
Yeah, I think that was it.
There are just so many Kevin Bacon jokes out there.
One for every movie.
Pretty much. Yeah. Edward is saying that N scale parts are large compared to Z scale and T scale. Do they make? I know they make some Z scale structures and stuff like that, but do they make T scale structures?
Never seen them.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. I mean, the only thing I've ever seen in T scale are those sort of Euro style trains.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've got anything else in T scale.
One of our associated club members has a T-scale layout in a suitcase.
Yeah.
When he goes to the show, he just takes the suitcase, opens the top, but it's all just scenery. I don't think there's any buildings that I can recall.
Well, there's a job for someone to look up is, can you buy a T-scale building?
T-scale.
I'm going to guess no.
Is Z
Although
the first one with magnetic wheels?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Z or T.
No, it's the T. They show where you can take the whole thing and turn it upside down and the train will still run.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that about T-scale.
No, they're so lightweight they won't stay on the track.
Milligrams or something.
Yeah, T-scale would be a lot of fun. In theory, I just can't imagine having to try and keep it on the track.
Well, they stay on track better than the other scales.
Oh, because of the magnets.
Correct. Yep.
I just noticed that not all of these are the same. Some of these have angles to the tops of them, and some of them don't. I should have maybe looked at the instructions.
No, you don't want to do that.
It's too much work.
That's last resort.
I know I definitely don't want to look at the instructions, but now that I've got them all cut off
And I'm
the
looking,
screw.
and I'm looking at instructions too. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, at least somebody is.
Yeah, but mine's last resort because I can't figure it out.
So it looks like I've got 4 with them angled in one direction, 4 with them angled in the other direction. So those must be the 4 that are going to go along in in here where they're angled, and then these straight ones are probably going to be the ones that go along in here.
I still don't get how this works.
I was going to tape off more areas so I could static grass. When I went to the store to pick up some more blue tape, they said that some guy on the Upper West Side of Manhattan was buying so much it was in short supply.
So it's funny you say that. I don't know if he's still here, but Norm Miller actually bought me a bunch of blue tape. So I've got like 12 rolls of 1-inch blue tape. Hence why I'm able to mask things the way I am. To abandon. Yeah, Adam, They're overrated. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Here you go. Humanity Junction, VSC Hobbies, TGH Model Trains. Oh, buildings. Hold on. Now we got to open those. Because if you found buildings, we gotta show those off. Where is it? Not there. Here we are. So it's probably like the only website with T-scale buildings. But look at that. Yeah, 1/450th scale. Oh, they even have the Big Ben Tower kit.
Oh, wow.
What about Parliament?
Nope, just Big Ben. Not Parliament. Big Ben. Parliament. Oh, this is funny. Here is a T-scale greenhouse kit, and they've got it shown on a pencil. Can I make that bigger? How do I make that bigger? There we go. Can you guys see that on the? It's like made onto a pencil. That is too funny. Well, who wants to put together some T-gauge kits?
Hang on, I'll have to get an electronic microscope first.
Oh, wait, look, there's more pages. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Hong Kong city skyline. Look at that. Wow.
Wow.
Station. Oh, the White House. If you ever wanted a T-scale White House.
Well, there's no reason why you couldn't use one of those in the background of your N scale.
Or in the background of my Z-scale.
Or in fact, yeah, because you can use it as perspective. I was going to say perception, but perspective.
You know,
who wants to build this tower crane and make it a working piece?
Who's brave enough?
I was gonna say you could use the White House as like a doghouse for HO scale.
Yeah,
that might be too small still.
T-gauge V for Vendetta diorama. I can't think of anything I wouldn't do to avoid building a T-scale kit. Yeah, my shaking hands and T-gauge, no thanks. Great admiration for those that do miniature work, but not me. Yeah, I mean, that would be...
I agree, Anthony, yeah.
Is that even it's more like microscopic work?
No more tree jokes. Rick's in the house.
I used to work for a tree company.
You've worked for everybody.
Yeah, well, I'm an IT guy. You don't stay in jobs very long.
Hello, Mark. Welcome. All right, so let's see. Let's see if I can figure out how to... let's see if I can figure out how to get these on and glue them in place.
While you're busy putting that together, I'm trying to figure out how to take this apart. Usually the roof comes off or the bottom comes out, but this thing is sealed. And it's got loose parts in there after I took the trucks off.
That's too funny.
Oh, the trucks that came with it, after I put KDs on them, I put it on the track and it's all metal. It shorts out.
Oh.
And it's not where I can take the wheels out. I don't want to run plastic wheels anyways, but I could put some insulated ones in there. So I found some online. There's only a couple bucks. For shipping's $50 or something like that. But and I thought, well, while I'm watching you, I'll take this apart so I can put the new trucks on, and it doesn't come apart.
Did somebody glue it together, maybe?
Well, the only place there's a seam is right on the end. Right around the edge, there's a seam. And I've been prying on it, and I don't want to break it. It's fairly nice car.
Hold it up again. Yeah. Is it an Athearn Blue Box, maybe?
I don't know. It was a yard sale find.
Yeah.
Usually the tops will come off or the bottoms come off, and this thing is solid. The only place there's a seam is right around the end. And I keep prying on it. I'm going to break something. It's just not coming apart. So what I may have to do, and I'm not going to do it with your sound on everything, is get a Dremel and cut a hole so that I can reach in there and first off get the locking nuts out, and then whenever I put on there, have some way to fasten it. Nice car. Hate to throw it in the junk pile. Got enough there already. Talk about crazy stuff. I've got a bunch of cabooses. I mean, when I go to shows, I bring a box full of caboose. So any railroad, any model, somebody goes, hey, I forgot my Burlington Northern. Here, I got one. Try to find the smokestacks, what they call the smoke jack.
Yeah.
You can buy 2 caboose for the price of 1 smoke jack. So I'm making my own.
Oh, there you go.
Like what you're working on right there. Hang on to the spurs.
Yep.
And trim them down, cut them out, and you got a smoke jack.
Yeah, so Adam believes that is an Athearn streamline.
Okay.
He says there were 2 tabs above where the trucks were. The seam is just above the side skirts. And Nisi says she loves cabooses.
Either that or they use JB Weld on this thing because it is not going to come apart without destroying it. So I'll just cut an access hole in the bottom so I can get in and fasten it.
Yeah, I mean, I know, when I was a little kid, I put together some Athearn Blue Box cars, and if I look at them now, I'd be pretty embarrassed the way I put them together. So Shane says that car comes apart just above the aprons on the sides.
That's what I thought too. I've had others.
It's 2 parts. The seam is hidden above the side skirts.
It's usually an end with a real fine screwdriver and work it in there, top one end up.
I agree. And I understand what he's saying, but it's
not working.
Either that or they use some really industrial glue the type that melts the plastic together. But there is a seam on the end that
Some
I've noticed came off, but that's it.
I've noticed some of them that you take the ends off, and then once you get the ends off, you can take the top off.
That might be too.
That I don't do a lot of HO, but my mate Dave does, and I've found that some of them you've got to take the ends off, and then you can take the roof off.
I picked up a couple of these for $1. These, you got to put the whole thing together, the sides, all like that. And that's what has me stumped on this thing, that I agree, there should be a separation above the skirt. And if it's there, whoever put this together, they made it so it's not coming apart.
Adam says, I had to use an X-Acto chisel blade to get in there.
I was poking around with that.
The end and the base are one piece. The roof and the sides are one unit also.
That's what I thought.
I'm sure you'll get it apart one way or the other.
Hammer. Bigger hammer.
Like I said,
Exactly.
I didn't want to destroy it. So, on the other hand, I could always build a new one. See, this one comes all in pieces. But that's what I think they did, is they welded it solid.
They probably did. They probably didn't realize that they didn't need to do that.
Well, they probably didn't plan on me taking it apart.
That's probably true too.
If this is a similar kit, you can't see it because of the plastic, but the ends are one piece, the sides are one piece. The roof is one piece, and this one is not coming apart. So, but I could always park it on the side, and this is basically the same car, but this has to be put together.
Yeah, at Northlands, they had just a pile.
Yeah, that's not an Athearn.
This is
Pile of cars. Yeah, I don't think I was going to say that as well, but oh, well, it looks like it's got an Athearn block. So
no, I have two. Actually, I have four of them. Two of them are Athearn, and two are called Globe Model Streamliners. So there's two different boxes here. But
never heard of Globe Model.
No, me neither. But for $1, you can't go wrong.
Dave BNSF N scale suggests soaking it in thinner.
I don't know about
And then
that.
he says, not really.
I was thinking about putting it in the microwave and setting it for an hour.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do that, just use the oven.
Yeah, if I'm going to use that, I'm going to just take a hammer to it. Oh, I believe this should come apart like it was suggested above the skirt. And just whatever they used to glue it together, it did a heck of a job.
Yeah.
Because I can see where there's a line where it should separate that matches up with these, but it's not happening. So I'm not going to worry about it. Going to go back to making smokestacks.
In theater, we used to say there's a 30-foot rule, that nobody's getting any closer than 30 feet to anything on the stage. So you only need enough details for the person sitting 30 feet away.
Yep.
And I don't know what the exact distance is for HO scale, but I'm sure each scale has its own distance as well. That
Funny you should say that, Heath. I can remember in one of the award shows, one of the major TV award shows, they had, you know, those plastic coffee cups, the see-through ones?
Yep.
They had one of those on a panel. And you looked at it in the live up close, and it looked awful. And when it was on TV, it looked stunning.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Because you obviously your resolution, but also the distance from this, because it was at the back of the stage, so it was actually the backdrop for the stars and the presentation, you know. And yeah, they were just coffee cups.
Yep, and they weren't meant to be seen up close, so they didn't need the detail.
Yep.
Nisi would like a sea and airline railroad steamliner, but it's not popular enough. Nisi, you just have to paint it yourself.
I almost missed this show because I was watching her YouTube.
Oh yeah, does she have another video out? I didn't see it yet.
Just came out this afternoon, literally about 15, 30 minutes before yours started.
She always seems to do that. She
Trying to steal your thunder.
Who'd you just say hello to?
Your dad.
Oh. That was like 5 minutes ago, Steve. You're so behind. Wilmer's in the house. That's Sea Airline, not Sea and Airline. Oh, Seaboard Airline. Yeah, that was close. Wilmer's here. Joe Rader's here. I think Joe Rader's been here, though.
So Heath, your new audio channel thing you were working on the other night, you get that straightened out yet?
So I've got a new setup to test. I might test it either tomorrow night or Wednesday night. But basically what I have to do is I have to use multiple computers because I do not have a computer powerful enough for me to do it on one computer.
Makes sense.
So Adam says he just sent me an email with a picture. He thinks I'm gonna be able to figure out how to open my email and open a picture is what he thinks. Let's see if I can find it. See if I can make that happen. No guarantees. Let's see which.
I don't think that's an Athern. Oh,
You don't think what's an Athern?
I didn't see the gloves on it.
So let's go to screen share. Let's go to window. And let's go to photo. Alright, so this is how we think the parts come apart.
And that's what I expect, yes.
Yep. And that's what we expect you expect.
And I expect that they use some really heavy duty cement when they put that thing together.
So what you're saying is you just need a bigger hammer.
Yep, or a hacksaw or something like that.
Yeah.
The Jeremy Clarkson method.
Since one of the kits is the same car, I may just put another one together.
Yeah, here's another picture of it from another angle.
Yeah.
But what was confusing is that side you pulled out. That side does not look the side doesn't look right.
That's a different kit.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same. The question though is what is it? Who can figure out what it is?
If I keep messing with it, it'll be called broken.
Yeah. That's close enough. Nisi's saying I haven't been able to find the 462. Let's make me a little bigger so you can see me making a mess of this. Isn't that why everybody's here?
Not for the flames.
No, everybody's here to see some smoke. Heath?
Yeah. If people are interested, I do want to point out Bar Mills is doing a live stream at 7 o'clock on the first Monday of the month. So I believe they're going to start their show up. I'm going to keep modeling, just keep hanging out and, make some of my own progress. But if people are interested, their show should be starting shortly.
Are they actually going to be able to get it off the ground this month?
I wasn't going to say anything.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, they've had...
I was going to keep my mouth shut. But
it seems like their internet is just every Monday or every first Monday, it's like their internet company and their cell service provider are like, no. We don't like you.
It's a little unclear to me why they keep having so many issues. I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, I know at least one month wasn't their fault. Like, their internet went out like a few minutes before.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I mean, like, they've just been unlucky, it seems like.
Yeah, and we all have that situation as well. I mean, I'm extremely fortunate that I'm in a city where the infrastructure is really great, but not everybody,
Yeah, you're lucky to have such a great link.
Yeah, not everybody has that opportunity.
I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I have really good internet, so I
Oh, well, there you go.
think.
Does anyone use these type of tweezers at all? They're they're the ones that you squeeze them to open them. So when you let go of them, they hold the item on their own.
They
Yeah,
come in
no,
Super Trees
No,
kits.
but I want here.
Yeah, they come
I
in
really like them.
I use them.
it's all personal preference.
Yeah, it really
Yeah, I mean,
depends.
I've got the other kind as well. I just think there's I like having both options.
Yeah, there's a proper tool for the process you're doing,
Well, that's
and then there's the proper tool, and then there's the tool you choose to use.
Typically, it tells you to get up and go get the proper tool.
Hey, Steve, I was going to say the
15
complete
minutes trying to
opposite.
cut something open when the other thing's 2 seconds away.
Yeah, I mean, I use my keys to open packages all the time.
Oh yeah, and I got a
I
knife
know
in my
about
pocket.
these.
Go figure.
I
These
was
things
trying
work pretty good. They're from Jeweler. They help hold little screws in pieces.
Hold them up again, Lynn. Yeah. The split ones, they've got the split
Yeah.
tips on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's got a full set. Joe's got about 5 pairs. Anthony Dodge has a Markland toolkit.
Ooh.
John's saying he doesn't have any clamps. Steve says he's got to call someone to buy some tank cars. What's weird about data and internet is you can be in a large village or city and have virtually nothing, but be in the middle of nowhere and it's perfect. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what the term is? There is some term with the congestion when there's just so many wireless signals in one place.
Yes, there is.
I know that can definitely be an issue as well. So John did post the Bar Mills link if people want to go check that out. Otherwise, we will be here trying not to blow up anything today. The one thing I don't like about these is the spring on them is really tight, and sometimes it's hard to release them without kind of knocking the thing you're working on off. And all I keep waiting for is Dave Atkins to pop in and say, "Why aren't you using the blue tack to hold those in place while you glue them in?" And I don't know that I don't have a good reason why I'm not. Except just that I'm not. But they look pretty good. I mean, they're going in pretty well. I don't even know you can barely even see them on the camera.
I just got to notice Bard's Mill is on live now.
Yep. Okay. Well, maybe they'll get their show to actually happen today. Nisi says she's not a fan of the Doodlebug. Nisi, how are you not a fan of the Doodlebug? I'm just a fan because of the name of it, if nothing else. John, are you gonna make a list of all the tools you need to get? There are some really good videos out there on the different tools that different modelers use. And it's really pretty incredible to see all the different options that are out there.
And I think it's funny because there's 4 or 5 different people that have tool essentials videos, and they're all different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Nobody agrees on what the essential tools are, only that there are essential tools.
Yeah.
When are you putting out your essential tool tip video?
Gee, I don't have anything on that.
Did you do a tip video on your static graph applicator?
I'm working on it. I did the build on it. Now I got to have the results.
Yep. Results are
And I
good.
did the and I did the backdrop too. I'm still in the edit phase on both of those.
Well, that's not gonna work.
I think probably my most essential tool are my fingers. I probably use them more than any other tool.
There you go.
And I sometimes even use my fingers with all of my tools.
Occasionally, the other useful one is
All right. John Knopfel. Anybody know what to clean a sad ring? What? If I knew what it was, I could tell you.
Yeah, I know what that is in 1 second. Anthony Dodge says all tools are essential. You just don't realize they are essential until you really need one. John wants to know what to clean a soldering iron with. And unfortunately, all my soldering stuff is in the other room. But there's tip tinner that you can use, and there's a it's like a brass.
Yes.
The brass thing. Yeah, there you go. Steve's got it. Hold on, Steve. I'll make you bigger. There you go.
Yep.
That's a great thing to do. But the best thing for a soldering iron is prepping the tip before you use it.
With flux.
With flux and with
Solder.
With solder, you wrap the solder around the tip, and then you heat it up, and you let the solder basically kind of adhere to the tip.
Yes.
There's some
They
really
make,
good videos.
They make some desoldering wicks too.
I hate those things.
Yeah.
Currently, well, not currently, but over the weekend I had multiple little shards of them stuck in my fingers.
I really like the pump desoldering thing, where you push the button and it's like a spring that like sucks it up into the little
solder
tube.
sucker.
They make a powered version of that will heat the work for you, and then you press the button.
Oh, real? Oh, see, now I want that.
Yeah,
That's an essential tool.
Oh yeah.
Will that
Roy
test
says.
check?
Roy's saying it's basically flux with solder is the tip tinner. But yeah, I've got to watch a video on how to prep a tip, and it will make your life so much easier. Oh, of course, Roy's got a power solder sucker. It's way better. Yeah, man, that desoldering braid stuff, that's just tough to use.
Can you
That's
say
just
that
really
3
tough.
times real fast?
The solder sucker? Power soldered sucker?
Yes.
No, I cannot.
I was desoldering some stuff to add an external antenna to Raspberry Pi Zero this weekend, and of course, after losing the little 0 ohm resistor, I had to cut out some wire to replace it.
Yeah.
Don't you
Hold
have
on 1 second, Steve.
those micromark metal?
What, Steve? Go ahead, Steve. What were you saying?
Nisi wants to know if anybody uses a magnetic jig
Yeah.
for building, and I was thinking you had one of those magnetic trays.
Yeah, so I have one, and I tend to use it not nearly as much as I use just 1, 2, 3 blocks. So I will take the 1, 2, 3 block and the magnets from the kit, and I will just use the magnet against a 1, 2, 3 block instead of the whole tray. That's partly because I just don't have the space for the whole tray, and it just kind of gets in the way. But I like, you can take the 1, 2, 3 blocks and make a corner out of them, and kind of do the same thing. So, I was trying to desolder, heat it up. By the time I got touching the solder, it was cooled off. John, what soldering iron do you have? One of the problems that I ran into when I was using one of the stick soldering irons is that the second you touched it to stuff, the heat would dissipate so quickly, and the stick soldering irons just didn't have the power to provide enough heat. So there's kind of a... Soldering can be tricky. Soldering can be really tricky.
That's why I went to a variable temperature one.
Keith, you need one of these.
Yeah, the helping hands. Yep.
Or a rework station, and then you accidentally...
Oh, it's got beyond that. It's got 2 magnifiers on it, plus an LED light.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, just going down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
I actually use it once in a while. I may use it to take that car apart.
Yeah, I've been using the desoldering or the rework station and accidentally heated something up a little bit too much, and all of a sudden you see one of the chips on the surface start floating around. You're like, uh-oh.
Oh.
PA chip.
That's always fun.
Hit it with a bunch of flux and hope it goes back to where it should be.
Yeah. I worked in LED displays for a while, and the LED chips are like the size of a poppy seed. And basically the way you hand solder those on is you put a bunch of flux on, you make sure that the chip is in the correct orientation, and then you don't use a soldering iron. What you use is a hot air iron.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure how it doesn't just blow the little chip away, but basically the hot air heats the flux, gets the solder to reflow, and the chip just sort of sits down into place.
Yeah, that's what I was using, and unfortunately I put tweezers into the mix and shot the little microscopic resistor into space. Pretty sure Crew 2 had to dodge it.
Oh, that's too funny. James, you're a little quiet. If you can get a little closer to the mic when you talk.
Turn up my
We'll be
mic.
able to, just want to make sure people can hear you.
How about that? Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds good.
There we go.
So, Nisi, what I would do if I were you is I would not pay for... Nisi's talking about the magnetic tray. I would not buy the magnetic tray online. I would wait until you go to a train show. And if Micro Mark's at the train show, they usually offer really good pricing at the train shows for those magnetic trays. And I would, if you're going to buy one, I would buy one at the show. I wouldn't order one. But yeah, the 1, 2, 3 blocks are just fantastic. Oh, there you go, Roy. Yes, Roy's correct. It's solder paste that they're putting on, not flux. That is correct. Yeah, hot air station. Yeah, it's really cool. The stations that they got were these like huge stations that I think actually had a soldering iron on one side and a hot air thing on the other side.
SMD stations.
Yeah, that's what I have, but I have the cheap version. I don't have anything like a Hako or whatever it is. Works well
One
enough.
thing I realized, I got one of those stick soldering irons at one point, and when I upgraded to one with a base station, for somebody who's not really skilled at soldering, it made a big difference to have something that was a little bit more controllable.
Yes, it does.
You use the hot air on a really low airflow setting to help not blow away the tiny parts, but the paste holds them in place pretty well. I could not believe they sent people directly over from the factory to help repair them, and I literally could not see with my bare eyes what they were fixing, because the parts were just so small, and they were just doing it as if it was like nothing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if you get one of the hot air rework stations, get one with a detachable air gun on it, because 9 times out of 10 I'm using the soldering iron, and that other thing's just falling off and in the way every time.
There you go. I'm guessing you kind of need to get one of the higher end ones.
Yeah, I mean,
to get that feature.
Yeah, I mean, some of the lower end ones have it. I just didn't end up with one. I went with a slightly higher end one that just didn't have it.
Yeah.
It was safer.
People that can solder, that have like been doing it for a long time and that have the right tools and like know just how much heat to apply and all that stuff, it's really pretty impressive to see what they can accomplish.
Oh yeah.
I replaced something on a board for a 3D printer and emailed the designer of the thing, and he's like, "Yeah, I would have not even tried that."
Oh, really?
He's like, "Yeah, I would have just requested that, send it in, and we'll replace it." I was like, "Oh, well, you say no warranty on your website."
Yeah. I once got me bum kicked for that. I was working, being an IT guy, so you work in all sorts of things, but we were repairing HP printers. And the deal was that we replaced the board, but the problem was we couldn't get the boards here. So what we found was that they had there were two different faults. And if it had one fault, it didn't have the other. So you could swap all the parts. So we had SMD soldering on. So what we did was we swapped the parts over and we rebuilt them. We marked them all and sent them out. We had our HP guys come over and kick our butts for them. And they said, "Why didn't you change them?" "Because you guys wouldn't supply them out here." And they said, oh. And then they asked the question, "So how many did you do and how many did come back?" We said, "We did about 300 and we have had none come back." And their jaws dropped and went, oh. I just couldn't believe it, because we had everyone marked.
Mark from My Life's Track saying he got a 1.5 foot square metal shelf that my company was going to throw out, and then he got 4 magnetic small squares in the welding section of Harbor Freight. Those either the 1, 2, 3 blocks or those little welding squares that you're talking about, those are pretty handy. That is for sure.
Definitely. Oh, I wish. They're just too dear out here.
Steve just spent some money. Steve 87th PSAP just bought some tank cars, but he's back. You really did have to call a guy about a tank car.
I actually haven't got it yet, but I actually bought VMix Pro.
You did?
Yep. Cost
Yeah,
me
no.
$13 US.
I don't have the I don't have a computer to run it.
Well, you don't need it. It just depends on what you want to do with it.
With what I want to do with it, I don't have a computer to run it. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, I thought I'd try it out because I was having problems with OBS, but also for the other live streaming that I do. I thought I'd buy it for the $13 US for the pro version. I thought, well, why not give it a bill?
Yeah, Tom of Tom's Trains and
Tom-
Things, who's on later, right
Yes,
after this,
he uses it.
he uses vMix,
Yes,
and he's very
'Cause
happy with it.
it's normally about $1,700 US or something
Yeah,
for the
It
pro
is,
version.
it is not a cheap investment.
Well, for $13, I thought I bought it from AliExpress.
Are you saying $13?
13.00
$13? I don't understand.
US.
Thank you so much, Boulder Creek Yard. You can now see your name running across the bottom, and he has a comment, lawyers are fun. They sure are. I'm dealing with some right now.
I work with them.
Yeah, you got to do it, though, right? I mean, like,
Yeah. I just looked up and saw the goal and didn't notice it earlier.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty good at reading a contract, but, sometimes it's worth just having someone take a look at it.
Yep.
It's not invested in it the way you are.
I send it to my daughter.
Is she a lawyer?
Yeah. I figured I paid for it. I can get something back of it.
You paid for it? That's how you get the money back?
Goddamn right.
So
Well,
you
the other...
said $13.
Yeah, I heard you. Well, send me an email.
I will. I thought you'd be interested.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it to come. They say it takes 2 days, and it's a lifetime thing too.
Yeah. That's the way vMix usually works, is a one-time
Yep.
thing. Steve's been chasing some LPG tank cars, a 3-pack. So what railroad are they, Steve, that you've been chasing after them? Not able to find them. So the one thing I'm finding with this extra thin cement that I don't like is as it's running down, the little brush isn't really reaching into it really well, and the tip of the brush is starting to get kind of wonky as well.
You need a separate. When I use that, I use a separate brush.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I'm gonna just throw this one away. I mean, for the cost of it, it's almost not worth it to fight with it, and I've just got another one over there. So, Nancy, welcome. I'm excited. I just got the new utility system in the mail today. I ordered them like way back when they were available for pre-order. Got them today and are so cool looking. Awesome, Nancy.
Take it that's the Woodland Scenics utility stuff?
We will. Let's see what Nancy has to say. That's my guess as well, but let's see what she says. And John at Schuylkill River Valley, if you're still here, if you wouldn't mind posting the Just Nate link again, just for some people that might not have been here earlier. We were just talking. If people don't know, Nate's having a little bit of a rough time. So if you know Nate, if you just reach out to him and check in, say hello. But if you've been thinking about buying one of his East Broad Top kits, he does have them on a pretty good sale right now. If you check out, there's a link that if John's still here, he'll post it. There we go. So yeah, check that link out. It's at a great discount right now, right off of his website. So if that's something you've been thinking about, now is a good time to pick that kit up. I cannot believe how long it's been taking me to put these little pieces on. I thought I would just bang through this and be done so quickly. Anthony Dodge says, I'm too excited. Just heard from my friend in California that my ICE 3 is fixed and on its way home. And according to inside sources, the brand new ICE 4s have already shipped from the factory. And I think half the people are probably saying, what?
Internal combustion engine? What?
Yeah, exactly. They are not internal combustion engines. That is not what he's referring. Well, actually, that's a good question. Do they have internal combustion engines? Or are they magnetic? Are they, what are they? What are the motors in those things?
Also, Nancy said, yes, those are the Woodland Phoenix utilities.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
I've been looking at those too.
Yeah, Steve is saying that nobody can believe that this is taking me as long as it's taking me. It's not easy to get in here. And I've actually, like, I'm starting to try and just, like, have some patience with it. I used to kind of, rush through it and try and just get it done. I'm really trying to take my time and, get things lined up, let them set up. Where I remove the clamps. ICEs are electric. It's not magnelectric. That's what I was thinking it is. And they are called ICE, not ICE. So don't piss off the German dude by calling him an ICE, or he'll come after us. That did not go the way I wanted it. And who thought modeling an N scale was a good idea? This is just like silliness.
Yeah.
I thought you were working on the Walthers stuff in HO scale.
Oh, this is HO scale, that's right. Man, this is hard in HO scale. I can't imagine these people that model on N scale. What are they thinking?
Yeah, what am I thinking?
Well, I mean, once we're done with this, I will hopefully be going back to N scale, so...
What the heck?
That definitely might be interesting. What, Steve, what brushes do you use? Do you just use those little, like these guys? The little micro?
Not the micro, but it's a small white
Like
plastic
these things?
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Right here.
Hold on, I gotta make you bigger. 1 sec.
It's
I
a
can't see
tester's
it.
brush.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've got, this kind, whatever they're called, but I don't have those.
Any brush will work. And the nice thing is, if you get hard on, you just back in that glue, because it's not really a glue, it's a solvent, and just take a paper towel and wipe it off like that. It's good to go for next time.
Just make sure you don't use synthetic or bristle brushes. Otherwise, you might turn them into goo.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true.
As long as it's the wrong or the right type of plastic. But I don't think I've ever run into polystyrene brush bristles. but I know they're out there.
Of course, I saved the hardest ones for last.
I actually ordered some N-scale stuff.
Oh yeah? Are you normally an N scaler?
No. Nope.
What are you doing with N scale stuff?
Christmas tree.
Ah.
We have a little tabletop Christmas tree, a live Christmas tree. And every year around December, I go, hey, I'm going to get this stuff, and then I always forget. So I'm actually going to order it early now.
Well, that is essentially what got me back into this hobby was some N scale around the Christmas
I
tree.
would.
And I found a method that I think is going a little bit faster than what I was doing before.
N-scale rules.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I mean, N-scale in 2020, 2021, the detail is so impressive compared to back in the 1980s. I mean, I just look at the cars that I have from the 80s, and I look at some of the cars now.
Oh, the cars, yes.
It's amazing.
My grandma has a whole bunch of N-scale stuff for me at some point. But it's all 80s N-scale stuff, so I have no idea how easy it will be to convert to DCC.
Very hard.
That's what I figured.
I've got some 70s and 80s, and it really hard. I wouldn't even attempt it. It's just so hard.
Is there just not enough room inside of it?
Yeah,
Is that
it's about the room. Yeah, you would actually have to Dremel some of the chassis apart, and some of them that is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, like on HO, that's not a big deal, but on N scale, oh boy.
Yeah, it is. Oh, look, I've done 70s and 80s HO. It's easy to make them DCC, but N scale is very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, I've done plenty of blue box conversions, and it's a walk in the park now.
Yeah.
I was watching Nick's Trains, who's actually going to be live streaming later, and he pulled the cover off of one of his O-scale locomotives, and I was basically like, where is everything in there? It's like everything's like spread out, the boards are like really far apart. I'm like, what?
A lot of the internals are still the same size as like HO, but you just have all of that extra room to play, so...
Yeah, Roy says, Roy Eltham's saying, really depends on the locomotive. Some of them have plenty of room and some are impossible.
Yeah.
If you get
1500 doesn't have a whole lot of room, especially if you want to put sound in it.
Yeah.
The SW1500 in HO scale doesn't have a lot of room.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were saying N scale. I was like, I couldn't imagine it in N scale.
Oh, look, it's diabolical.
Well, in N scale, if you get the Microtrains SW1500, the new ones actually have a drop-in decoder for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the new stuff is pretty
new stuff
for space,
Yeah.
but
it's the old stuff that's the problem.
Everything is miniaturized. Technology is miniaturized stuff a whole lot better.
I've got a really nice engine, and it hasn't been used, and it's a 1980s or 90s, no, 1990s model, and it's from around the area where my family come in England, and I'd love to have a DCC, but I look at it and I go, no, I don't know how to do it. It's just not enough room.
It
like
can
I'm sure
definitely
there's
be
people
tough.
out there who can manage it, but it's not me.
I've got
Gordy Robinson puts sound in all of his locomotives. Now, I don't know if he's done any of the, I don't know if he's gotten any of the 80s ones and putting sound in them, but he claims he puts sound in everything.
Well,
Have you ever seen
some of them
James
you could
Revere's
probably.
stuff?
Yeah. Yep.
Some of them you
Revere,
might be able to, but I don't know about sound.
Yeah, I want James Regier to do an N-scale trackmobile.
Yeah, really.
That HO scale one that he did, man, that's gorgeous.
It took him months, but it turned out great.
Anthony Dodge says the
Not
nice
like
thing
an
about being
idea.
newer in the hobby and doing modern era, it is already full digital. I don't need to retrofit or upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy says can be difficult, but if there's a will to do it, you try. Just be patient. Yeah. Roy says my Concor U50 DC locomotives from back then have tons of room for DCC stuff. Yeah, some do. Steam locomotives, right? I mean, they're you just put it in the tender.
Tender, yeah, but with some of the English ones, there's not a lot of room because they're mostly solid chassis.
Yeah. Yep.
I saw an N-scale model this weekend that had the motor in the tender, and it's got a drive shaft.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Wow.
MDC ones. I guess they also made them in HO, but
Some of those early collector, like the Stevenson Rock, I don't think it is, but some of the other ones have the motor in the tender. And the tender's is actually what's powered, and it pushes the loco.
the one I'm talking about actually has a drive shaft up to the engine to do that all.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes
That's
between the tender and the engine.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I thought it was
I've
interesting.
not seen.
Apparently, they're really good slow creepers too.
That's another thing that's great about the modern locomotives is how slow you can run them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, with DCC, you can go in and make it even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need a 45 amp decoder.
Could use. Oh, hang on. Use that camera. If you this one might not be so bad. This is an old Santa Fe. It's an I can't. I have to put glasses on. So you've got a little bit of room there that you might be able to put it in, and that's the exception to the rule.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will, modify that lead weight in there, and they'll,
because they've got the lead weight, but a lot of the English ones, that's all solid, all that top bit. So this has got lights in it, but all that top bit is often just totally lead weight, and you can't cut it. Whereas this one would be a lot easier. But that's my old trusty and true Santa Fe. What?
Yeah, I take these F7 weights and I cut out the section right here, and the decoder then fits down in there.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Yep, taking off down.
Is that a
That's
Walther
cheating. You can't be using those big locomotives.
or
No, that's
Athearn?
Athearn F7 super power weight. I've got 5 extras of them.
You have extras?
Yeah, because you didn't watch my evolution of the Athearn F7 blue box for the days, huh?
No, I haven't.
I had the rubber band version, which.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that. Yes.
Ray has
Then they
shown
went-
us a bunch of his rubber band ones.
Then they went to
The Pixel
same
Depot,
design
thanks for
they
coming.
use
See you later.
today. They use the same basic design used today, except used a couple saddle weights like this instead of the superpower weight like this, and they did not have flywheels. All right, that was back in the 70s. In the 80s, they came out superpower and these bigger weights, and then flywheels on the motor will allow them to start up slower and slow down slower. Well, with DCC, you can adjust the startup and slow down, the acceleration, and such that you really don't need the flywheel. Okay, but you still need the weight. All right,
yeah.
for traction, for pulling power. So that's why I picked up 5 or so extras of these weights. So if I see good deals on F7 A's and B's, then I'll pick those up. And
I
use the
thought you were
weights I
into
already have.
E's. I thought you were into E locos.
I am
Why are you
into
getting
E's.
F's?
Certain railroads didn't use these.
Oh. Trying to figure out which drain spout pieces go where now. Definitely not the.
More Western railroads use F units because they were better pulling in them.
DCC and sound, as much as I can take it, it will make it longer, but I want the realism. We have Dave P checking in. How you doing, Dave? Welcome, welcome. The Pixel Depot says, I'll be back.
Oh,
Steve, you said something about F units?
Yeah.
There you go. Those are all for parts.
Hang on, I gotta come over and look. They're all parts. Yeah, that's more me.
oh wow.
So, Lynn, do you have any living space in your apartment, or is it all just train storage?
Well, right now I got my hands full and I'm about ready to drop this, and I'll answer that in a minute. If you hear a bunch of noise, it's just me.
Just you dropping things?
Ah,
That was Lynn.
That was me.
oops.
Yeah, I got enough room that I can turn around. That's about it.
That's good. Turning around's good.
You want a view? Since somebody talked me into getting this extension cord,
Yeah.
but there is stuff everywhere.
So is this sort of your like man cave area, and the wife basically gets the rest of the house?
Yes.
I told my wife what Jason Train Freak's doing, and
Yes, that's
said, and his wife's letting him do that. I said, yeah. She said, I need to talk to her.
Everywhere you look, there's stuff.
That's awesome.
And I get stuff on eBay that is damaged or something's wrong with it. Kind of like what Steve was talking about. I strip it for parts.
Yep.
These are all.
Never know when you're gonna need one of the gears. Or...
Yeah. These are all up here for parts.
That was the biggest I went through when I first started putting my collection back in running state. Was, everything's 50 years old, 45 old, and all the axle gears were cracked on all the blue boxes, so I had to go in and replace all those.
So Steve, were all of your locos DC locos that you then converted to DCC?
All but one, two. All but two.
I'm kind of asking because there's a couple, DC people that are saying like they'll never switch because it's just so complicated. So I'm just sort of curious,
Oh, once
like
you
what
do
that
like
process
most
was
of mine,
like.
most of mine are blue boxes. Right? And once you do one
Okay.
box, the process is all the same.
Yeah.
And then
The biggest thing you have to
when I started
watch
doing
with. Sorry.
that's okay.
The,
Go ahead.
the biggest thing you have to watch is the power drawn by the motor. So
Yeah.
you really actually need to test the old the old DC motor to see what the current draw is on the motor before you put in or convert it to a DCC.
This is what I was tinkering
Here's
with
what
while
I-
you guys were talking about all the other stuff there. If you can see the red light
Here's
on the
what I-
lantern.
What I found
Yep.
in that regard, Greg, was my old blue boxes draw about a third of an amp. All right, whereas my newer DC ones, which are P2Ks, they all draw less than a quarter of an amp.
Well, some of the old Hornby ones, which have what's called ring-filled motors, I had one that was drawing 1.5 amps.
Woo.
That'll pop a decoder.
Yeah, it did. Literally.
That's how you found out.
Yeah, that's how I found out.
I've been talking about this with a couple other people as well, but it's like, to me, like that's the kind of stuff that like we all end up doing, and that to me, I think is the most interesting is like, what you're saying. It's like, it's easy to install a decoder when it's a drop-in and it's made for it and whatever, but like to learn that lesson of like making sure you check the amperage on a motor before converting it. I think those are lessons that a lot of people don't talk about because in some cases maybe they're embarrassed or whatever that they blew up a decoder. But like I think that's some of the most valuable lessons that we could share with each other are those sort of circumstances and those scenarios.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like anybody that's nervous about showing mistakes or something, I say go for it. I mean that's what we learn about. Hey
Well,
Lynn, Nisi wants to see your mountain.
Oh,
How I
Here's
learned
the
the
other
lesson
thing.
was my mate bought a second-hand engine and it had popped the decoder, and so we put a new one in and it popped it again, and we went, something's not right here, and that's when I learned the lesson that I put the meter on and found what it was drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put them on a DC test track first.
Yeah, I've got a test track. I've got a short, just straight test track. One's HL and one's N scale, and it has a fuse where the power connects, so that it's about half an amp fuse, a resettable fuse on it.
The other thing,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. Everybody has a decoder choice, and here in the States, of course, I guess the two most ESU, Lockstone, and Soundtracks. I started out with Digitrax decoders. All right, they're cheaper. They don't have the same sound, but you can put better speakers in them and make them sound better. You can download sound projects, get more accurate sounds out of them.
I
But
did
here's
not
the
know you
big
could do
thing:
that.
they're 1 amp. Yeah, there's I forget what the sound profiler is that you can download from Digitrax and do that.
Do you need any special hardware?
Anyway,
Sorry.
no special hardware. It's just I say that if you have a Digitrax system, all right, with a PR4 PR3 or PR4, which is what your computer hooks up your local net to, so you can run JMRI. If you've got that, that's the piece of hardware you need. Okay?
Yeah, that's nice.
And here's the thing I didn't realize at the time, but they're rated at 1 amp, but startup power is 1.5 amp. Okay, so you're likely to blow up as likely on an old motor tricks as you would be somebody else.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't put sound in this. We just bought we bought some from the manufacturer, and they actually make some Kato and other ones. They're called ANE, and they're quite good decoders. They're not sound, but what they do is if there's something wrong, they actually flash the lights and cut out. And they were brilliant. So that's how, and I think we bought them for about $8 US, and I bought 10 of them, and when we put one of those in, you can see it flashing, and you save the decoder, which is really good, but no sound.
Here's the deal with the Digitrax. It's the same ones that you use for anybody else's. All right, the 9-pin harness on the front side, and I forget on the back side. So if you want to drop in a soundtrack, you just unplug the Digitrax and plug in a soundtrack. So, but the wiring, it's all the same.
Well, we were converting, as I said, converting.
I'm not talking about DCC ready stuff. I'm talking about you have hardwire. And the thing about a Blue Box, as long as you get that motor isolated on the underside, between the frame and on the underside, it's easy.
Well, that is one lesson I learned, though, is that thanks for showing that stuff off, Lynn.
You're welcome.
One thing I definitely learned is even though it says it's a drop-in decoder, you definitely need to still check that your motor is isolated from the chassis, because it's not always the case. It's not always the case.
Not.
And after I get them wired, I always check them before I actually mount the stuff up. And I popped a couple decoders because the speaker leads or the capacitor lead will short out on the bus track rail. So I have popped a couple decoders. My fault. All right.
So, Lynn, you want to answer Nisi's question?
I was just waiting. I didn't want to butt in there. The whole thing is just made out of scrap pieces of styrofoam stacked up. And then I used the rubber molds, plaster Paris, and joint compound. I found out that works best. You take your mold, your rock, put joint compound, and just slap it on there. Everything is colored with, my wife's a retired kindergarten teacher, so I had lots of art supplies. And the dry paint, you just add a little water to it, stains all the rock, and then everything is soaked with a combination of alcohol and regular India ink. And that's it.
Ain't sticking.
Another India ink guy.
There is a little bit of carving between the different levels back here. There's some raised areas, and that's just where you sculpt the mold and a screwdriver, and you just scratch out rocks. Big deal. That's it.
Nice.
Nissy, if you want to see more, go to my club website, and you'll be surprised. How's that?
What's the name of the club, Lynn?
Okay, it's High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club, or HDMMRC.
And that's the website, or there's a YouTube channel you should check out?
Well, both, but the website has the best pictures. It's www.hdmmrc.com. And there's a whole bunch of little railroad cars lined up. You go on the one that says pictures or videos. If you go to videos on that page, go to the top where my name is and click on that. And there's roughly 100 Vimo videos, and I don't know how many hundred pictures on just the still pictures. There are battleships, aircraft carriers, space shuttles, Civil War, you name it, we've got it.
Nice. And when's you said you got a show coming up you're working on. What's that show?
That's actually it's an open house for the Eastern Sierra Railroad Society. You have to have society or something to get your tax-free. What do you call it? Yep. We don't. we're nonprofit, but we don't have a lawyer to do that for us. But they have a permanent layout up at Ridgecrest at the fairgrounds, and they have both N and HO. And we're invited by the fairgrounds and by that club because with COVID, everything's shut down. But they're letting us use this building that is inside is roughly 60 by 60, and we're going to take up pretty close to 50 by 50 feet.
Nice.
With the yard going down through the middle. So.
Is there a standard to all your modules, or is it just a club standard?
Loosely, we're following the National Model Railroad Association. The modules are all in the range of 2 feet, 4 feet, 6 feet. But like I have one of a cement plant that is 4-foot sections, so it's 12 foot long. The main tracks are designated a certain space, same as with the association. And after that, you're on your own. You can do whatever you want. We have flying saucers. We have all sorts of weird stuff.
Nice.
I feel like a lot of people have UFO type things on their layouts. It seems to be a pretty popular addition.
Some of the club members aren't too happy about it, but hey, we got a space shuttle that doesn't really take off, but the rockets light up and the smoke comes out, and I mean the space shuttle was built right here, right literally down the street from where I'm at right now. It's where the space shuttles were built. And across the desert away is Edwards, where it used to land before it started landing in Florida. So there's a little
Edwards
bit of
Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Now, do people not like the UFO because of the proximity to Area 51? They think it's too corny?
They don't have any problems with that. It's more the space shuttle, because where it was launched was in Florida, and there was no trains close by. I mean, that's a little out of perspective even. But it's a neat looking display, so nobody's going to complain about that part of it.
Well, there was train tracks right up to the vehicle assembly building, because that's how the boosters got there. They actually they were designed to fit through tunnels. That's why they're a certain size.
That's true. But anyways.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
We're gonna at this show we're gonna have the USS Hornet with Jimmy Doolittle's bombers, the correct number, and the props turning on the deck. And
cool.
It is to scale. It's not a kit. It's completely hand built, and it's about 9.5 feet long. The ship is. Yeah.
Wow.
That's about how many people do you get at these shows?
Well, right now, not as many. You mean the number of club members or spectators?
Both in general, I guess. Just in general. I mean, I know that times are different, but
our club membership right now, we've lost a couple of people. Literally, one died from COVID. We had some that just financially and all like that. They just said, maybe we'll come back some year. We're down to 18 members right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At the show, the same thing they had set up in October, even with COVID and everything. And Ridgecrest is a pretty small town. I don't know what the population is. It's almost all military because of China Lake Naval Weapons System is there. By the way, Top Gun and Star Wars and a lot of those movies were filmed real near where we're going to be set up. But anyways, I would guess we probably only had maybe 100 people on one weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other shows we do at several hundred people. I mean, there's a couple places closer to Los Angeles that when we set up, there's a line out the door. It gets so crowded.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not really that close to
Anything.
everything.
It's an hour and a half drive from my house to where we're setting up, and that's mostly freeway, so 70 miles an hour. So it's about 160, 170 miles from here, one way.
Besides Dave, who's talking about going to get some food, some people are talking about how NASA does have their own trains, and I do actually know,
Yep.
like, Microtrains makes a whole NASA set, and Roy Eltham is saying that there's NASA rolling stock in California being used by SpaceX.
They just had the big ROC take off the other day. I didn't get to see it, but I saw it live, like what we're doing right now. That's twin fuselage with 6 jets on it that literally takes space equipment up to the upper atmosphere and launches them.
So just so people know, I almost knocked myself over. Just so people know, apparently Tom's not going to do his show tonight. So I was just going to kind of keep working, and we can just keep chatting for a little bit as I finish up this some of the details on this last kit. But you know, there are some other people doing streams as well. Tyler from Lackawanna Railfans on. Nick from Nick's Trains is probably going to be on soon as well. So there are other streams out there if people want to jump off and go check out some of those other streams. If not, I'm just gonna keep working on this model for a little bit until I finish getting some of these little pieces on, and then I will jump off myself and probably go visit some of those other streams.
Well, I was just thinking about maybe bowing out. I've taken up more of your time than I should, and it's
Lynn,
almost
you're not taking up anybody's time. Anytime you want to come, Lynn, you're always welcome.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to say good night. Everybody take care.
Good night.
Thanks so much, Lynn. See you soon.
Lynn.
Bye.
So while Lynn was just talking about what he's got going on, Steve or James or Greg, do you guys have any upcoming videos or any kind of things you guys want to share or talk about that might want people to go check out?
Like 3 upcoming ones. My corn backdrop, building the supercharged static grass applicator, and then my April update. So they'll all be coming out this week. Other than that,
You want to you want to give a little tease of your backdrop, because I know you did it earlier, but some people weren't here.
Yeah. All right. How's that?
Nice. Oh, I didn't realize it was so high on that one side.
So high on one side. You mean on the right?
On our left, the clouds seem to go way up high, and on the right, it only stops under the shelf.
No, it's up. It goes up higher behind the desk. All right.
Oh, okay.
It's at it's at about the same height as the rest of the backdrops. So
Gotcha. So Bill's getting his shed delivered tomorrow now. Hopefully that's going to happen. I know Bill's been waiting for it, and unfortunately it got. Fortunately, it didn't make it the first time.
now I'm working on more corn.
Oh, that's cool. It looks like Bar Mills is still live. If people want to go check out their manufacturing process, they can see how they make their kits. Yeah, there's lots of cool live streams out there. Definitely, support as many as you can. Definitely a lot of interesting things out there. I have no idea what this is for.
Oh, dear.
That's like a lot of stuff.
I'm laughing because I have the same problem. I'm not sure where I'm at.
Well, no, I mean, it's part number 29 on the Golden Valley Canning Company. Does anyone know where part number 29 on the Golden Valley Canning Company goes?
Does it show up on the instructions?
I don't have, unfortunately, one of the pages.
Oh, that one?
I can go download it and look, possibly. But,
I
at
had
this point...
I had basically a whole sprue with only one part used for a kit. And it had like 15 or 20 other parts on it.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
not uncommon in Walther.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got a sprue you could save.
Yeah, it's got a little couple things on it that might be useful.
Yeah. Why, Adam, why can't you get your pack of trains? James, we know what Steve's got going on. You want to tell us what you got going on?
Not too much. I think, usually I put out a Monday video of some sort. I think I'm going to move it to Tuesday for this week. I have no clue what to do. Writer's block, I guess.
You have no idea what to do for the video?
Yeah, for the video. We had a open, or not open house. We had ops for Silicon Valley lines last Friday, and it was started out as a semi-disaster, but it went all right towards the end. One of the guys who does a lot of the computer stuff for the web throttles wasn't there, so we had to pivot to using VPN stuff on the fly, and that was not fun. But yeah, other than that, not too much at the moment. Just continuing to work on this. Have 3-4 weeks left to do it. And I'll be putting out a video probably each week until it's done on the NMRBO stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, other than that, I can't think of too much right now.
Adam says the mail person put a broken parcel locker key in his mailbox. Well, geez, that's a bummer. Roger Coleman says he's a noob. A lot of us are with a lot of things, so welcome to the club.
I mean, even if you're not a noob on a lot of things, there's still things that you can always be learning.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Always be learning. We were talking about that earlier today. I was actually thinking, James, it would be really cool to do a video where you talk about how Y-throttle or whatever it was didn't work and you had to switch to the VPN and all that stuff. At least to me, that's kind of interesting.
So the specific, we're going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff, I think, at some point. But the main reason it didn't work on Friday was we made some changes for the open house, and we didn't realize that they were still in place.
Yep.
So that's specifically why we just weren't thinking ahead there. But it ended up working out in the end.
Yeah, I made a lot of changes to my streaming setup, and every time I start a stream using kind of the old way, I'm always wondering if it's going to work because I'm afraid like I made that one change that's not going to let the old stuff keep working.
Yeah, that's specifically like we blocked something out and it made the other way not work. And
Yep.
So how are you going with Ninja?
Well, who?
You. How are you going with Ninja?
Oh, how am I doing with Ninja? Pretty good. It's going pretty well. I basically don't have a single computer that is powerful enough to run everything. So what I'm going to be doing is using multiple computers to run everything. So, I think I've got everything that I need. Well, because it's all on the same network, so I can pass some stuff around via NDI.
But so you I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my head around it. So you run OBS on one, Ninja on another. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of.
Kind of.
I'm gonna run the OBS Ninja Directors panel on one computer.
Right.
I'm gonna run the OBS broadcast feed, which is the feed that goes out to the guests. I'm gonna run that on another computer. And then I'm running all of the rest of the stuff on my main streaming machine. So everything will still be controlled from the one computer. I just need the CPU power from the other computers to help me along.
What's
Help
your
you
main
along.
streaming system contain inside, like processor-wise and whatnot?
An 8700X with a GTX 1060.
That's no slouch.
No, but unfortunately, it's only a 6-core
Yeah.
processor, and I really need like a 5950X.
Ah,
You know,
good luck.
if I had a 5950X with what is that, 12-core, 24 threads, I would be doing great.
Golden. I have a 3700X, and I haven't tried a lot of streaming stuff yet, though.
So a friend of mine's got a 3900X, and I gave him my setup to test, and it runs great on his one machine. So
Okay.
you could probably come pretty darn close to running this setup on your your one machine.
Most of what we're doing for the club is an old 2600K with 16 gigs of RAM and GTX 560. But we're not doing any crazy stuff with that. It's just
So there are two things I'm trying to accomplish. One is get a better resolution than StreamYard's, and two, I want to be able to have the 9 people up on the display.
Yeah, we're not doing
And
anything that crazy.
It's the high resolution and the 9 people that are the problem. I can, with like this stream tonight, with the amount of people we had on it, I could do it on I could do it with the 8700X without much of a problem.
So how much CPU are you using currently?
Currently, currently I'm using StreamYard, so a lot of it should be up in the cloud. But I'm at 46%, 40% CPU, and 26% GPU.
Right. Okay.
So you're basically just trying to cut StreamYard out.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
I want to cut StreamYard out and bring a lot of that processing in-house so that I can kind of control it a little bit more.
Did you use the bloatware to get rid of Cortina?
I haven't done that yet. Nope.
Right.
But I've been looking at the the task manager stuff, and Cortina's barely doing anything.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much these days.
It does, but once you remove all those extra bits, it does make a difference.
Yeah. It's at this point, it's not enough that it's going to actually make it. It's not going to change my ability to be able to run it on one machine or not. I'm still going to use the. I'm still going to need the other things. So.
It's just that it does actually take a little bit more. So I've used it to because you get rid of all these other things that take up sort of a little bit of memory, and I've got it running on this computer at the moment, and so my OBS is running at 23% CPU.
Yeah, so my OBS is at 17.1.
Oh, well, you're doing better than me. Okay, fine.
I've got an old 4-core, 4-thread laptop, and it's only running like 10%.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm only running 8 meg RAM. And what is this? That's a good question.
Yeah, I've got
This is only a
32
Night
with
5.
Yeah, that's why I'm not overly worried about it on like my computer at least, because Cortana and whatnot, I only get like 300 megs out of it at most, and I have 32
Yep.
gigs.
That's fair enough. I just, I like to get rid of all the crap and keep it,
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, so don't get me wrong. StreamYard is great. StreamYard has allowed people to stream that never would be able to stream under other situations.
Yep, with like no training or no computer to do
You
it.
know, and it's been
Like me.
fantastic. Yeah, like Steve. But
Yeah.
and it's been fantastic for me, helping to get the channel off the ground and all that stuff as well. I just want to see what I can do. I want to see what more is possible.
well, I agree. I mean, it's boys for toys.
A little bit. I'm in AV. It's part of my business. It's
Yeah,
part
I
of
know, yeah,
You always want
Yeah.
something better than
of course.
than somebody else can do.
Well, that's I'm always trying to play around with stuff too. That's why I bought this nice new mic.
right.
And I'm hoping it sounds better than the last one, but yeah.
It looks like Randall's taken off. The train freak's gonna pay for fiber to be run to his house, and then he gets a phone call. Yes, I do want more. More.
It's about keeping up with things too. It's a whole range of stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, people in the community too ask questions, and I feel like, I like exploring and trying to find the answers, and a lot of the testing, is also part of allowing me to do that.
Yeah, I get it. I've done lots of different things over the years, so yes.
I do not know how this thing is supposed to fit in here.
Magic.
It's the tolerances of Walther's stuff is just really pretty incredible. The accuracy with which they I'm just joking.
The accuracy of how far off they are
Yeah, exactly.
every time.
So Containerman says Heath wants it all at once, but he doesn't deserve it.
Ouch.
Tim says he's gonna stick with StreamYards, and don't get me wrong, I mean StreamYards is fantastic. For what it does. Yeah. And the problem with streaming is a little bit what Adam says here too, right? Is he's got Xfinity. He's got 1.5 gigabytes per second down, but it's like that doesn't matter. He's only got 50 to 60 up. Now 50 to 60 up should be plenty.
Yeah.
The problem though that you run into sometimes is that it's probably a cable service, which means it's shared. Which means he's probably competing with some other people for that same bandwidth, and that can definitely create some issues.
Yeah, see, I've only got 38 up.
Yeah, but 38 should be fine. I mean, technically, I think you need like 10 or something. Like, you don't need a lot.
You don't need a lot, no.
38 more than most America.
I'm supposed to have 200.
Well, it's more than most Australians too. I have pure optic fiber to my router, and I'm I'm in an estate that's locked, so you can only have certain providers. But
Well,
my
that's everywhere
download,
in New York. They do the same thing here.
yeah, that's uncommon here in Australia.
Oh, okay.
So normally, and to have fibre into the house is also not a very common thing. It's normally out to the street.
Yeah, fiber to the node.
Yep. So
Or actually,
I'm
no,
very
not even.
fortunate. So I'm very fortunate. You know, my download speed is pretty constant at 92, and my upload speed is pretty constant at about 38.
Who are we talking about that's not putting in the work? Yeah, Adam, in a townhouse complex on a cable, you're gonna have some challenges.
Yep.
I don't know where this is supposed to go. I don't know if people can see somewhere in the directions, this thing is supposed to have this little pipe that goes into something. But I don't know what it's supposed to go into. Definitely on that side of the building. But I don't know what. There's no holes for it anywhere. I guess you just put it anywhere you want it, right?
Yep. I guess so.
Guess you just make it up as you go along. Oh, Container Man's saying I'm not putting in the work. I think Container Man's just giving me a hard time. So Greg, I didn't let you. I should let you. I didn't ask you what you had coming up. Do you have any?
No, I
any
don't.
things you want to share?
No, I don't. Although I have to say thank you to subscribers. I've actually hit 67.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah, really nice. And one surprised me the other day. I didn't realise, but yeah, I had Mike Pfeiffer subscribe.
Mike's a great guy as far as that goes. He definitely gets around and
Yeah,
when he can.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, and I really enjoy watching him just as much as Tom and you guys, and yeah.
Okay, I really cannot figure out for the life of me where this little bridge thing's supposed to go. So, Split Rock, go to speedtest.net, and you should get to the Ookla site, OOKLA. And you can run a speed check from the Ookla site without downloading the app. And
yeah, that's what most people here use too.
Yeah. Hey, PK and W, welcome.
G'day.
Tim says I forget my upload download speed. I think it's less than 1. MPS isn't a thing, but I'm guessing it's megabyte per second, maybe.
Megabyte per second, yeah.
Testmy.net. I don't use TestMy. I usually use Ookla.
Mine is 1.2 gigs down supposedly, and 32 megs or 35 megs up. Yeah, I get about 600 down, 35 up.
Right. Well, mine's 140. 100 down, 40 up, and I get about 92 down, and I get 38 up.
I'm also way out in the sticks, so I'm happy to have high speed.
Well,
yes.
Better than mine.
Let's, just for fun, I don't know. We'll see what. So for me, depending on which server I choose, I get very different results as well. Inner server, Datapath, seem to do pretty well, but some of them I get just terrible. So let's see. Let's see what we get. I'm also streaming while I'm doing this, so
yeah,
you know,
well,
who knows what I'm gonna get? Who knows what's gonna happen?
I wish.
I really want to know what this part is for. I've not figured this out. Probably for something important.
Probably for another kit.
That would be so nice.
Well, and again, like this is, part of my goal, in kind of what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, I've noticed with the faster internet, it doesn't necessarily make things better because the other websites aren't serving you up
Correct.
fast enough. So,
Correct. These numbers are completely meaningless if you can't ping the servers you need to ping.
Correct.
Completely useless. But
still fun to see.
what I found with it's Verizon Fios that I have. What I found with Verizon Fios is that I get a much more consistent stream than when I had cable service.
Yeah. Because
it's not so much that it's faster or anything, it's just more consistent.
They're a tier 1 provider, backbone provider, versus most cable companies are like level 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So people in New York for my office can ping and like have lower latency to my office out here in Palo Alto from New York because they all have Verizon internet. So I'm over here in Palo Alto and I'll have like a 200 millisecond ping time to the office where somebody on the East Coast has like 30 milliseconds.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my new office, I don't know. So I know James saw this, but my studio lease is under legal review right now. So it's probably going to cost me about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours of a lawyer's time. But I'm reviewing the lease. And one of the things, when I was considering taking this office was whether or not I could get Verizon Fios. I will not have the 1 gigabyte plan because I think I'm going to have to get the business plan, which is significantly more expensive. So I won't be doing the 1 gig plan, but even with, a lower plan, because it's the Fios, I'll still be able to do a quality stream. So that's the goal. So let's see. What is Dragon Lover 68? Heath. What's the picture on the box show for the location of the little building? So here's the box. So the little building, basically, it just shows it sitting off to the side here. Actually, probably up here like this. Maybe even all the way up here. It looks like it kind of shows it lined up with the front. Oh, and then I'm kind of looking at this here. Main building. So wait, so if this is the main building, this is like this, and the boiler house it's showing is actually showing it on this side like this. According to this picture. Yeah, I don't think this picture matches this picture at all. I don't know what's going on. Too funny. Frontier, we can't get Fios. We're only able to get 2 uploads. We better, yeah. I pay for 100 megabytes down and 10 up. Where I work, I have 1 gig down and 1 gig up. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome having the speed that I have, and yet, because it's residential service, it's still flaky. It still comes and goes. It's still not perfect. So here's let's switch to this camera because I think we might be able to see things a little better. So except for weathering, I think I'm in pretty good shape um, with these two structures. So tonight I did these supports under here. This guy too, the way I painted it, I don't know if it comes across, but I did a yellow sort of light brushing over the roof color. So it looks like it's kind of yellowed a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it.
And I did that, in some other places too, where like here too, it was like it's a yellow base coat, and then I took this brownish color and just sort of did a light spray over it. So this one kind of has some weathering in it already that I did as I sprayed it. And then this here doesn't have any weathering whatsoever. And this was sort of my first attempt with airbrushing. And it went the way it went. Maybe I'll put this here. It is a little too big for Z-scale. As Andy says, it's even a little too big, probably too big for N scale also. You put the probably looks a little too small as well. I don't have any. I wish I had some boxcars. Do I have an HO scale boxcar around? Don't think I have an HO scale boxcar in the apartment right now. But yeah, so I got one more building. I have a couple more buildings. It's this trackside structures set. There's a shanty. There's a tower with stairs. And then there's a speeder shed. All of these items, though, they all just came in gray plastic. So there was no, they're all single color. So I'm gonna have to. I don't have to, but I want to paint them before I do anything. Before I put any of it together. So I did throw them in the dishwashing soap bath and gave them a little dishwashing soap. I'm not building. Sorry, Damon says it's a foreground building for Z Scouts. So I'm not building an HO scale layout. I was having a hard time building some of the N scale buildings, and I think a lot of it was just the lack of skill, and that I just felt like I needed to learn something. And the NMRBO contest happened, and it just sort of worked out. I figured for $100 it gives me some things that I can model, and I thought it'd be fun to do. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now I don't know that anybody's gonna want any of this stuff, but I am thinking that once I get it built and once I do a little diorama out of it, I'll probably hold a giveaway and give some of it away. What's for my office space? The foreground building for Z scale for my office space. Yeah, the speeder shed is neat, and I gotta tell you, I want one of those BLI speeders. I want a speeder for N scale, but I haven't been able to find a speeder for N scale. I may have to get that. They don't. Or at least I have not. They make speeders for N scale that are like die-cast models. They're not actually operating units. The only operating units that I've seen are in HO scale. So, Heath, are you wanting to become a master model builder for the NMRA? I am probably going to try and do the, what's it called, the Golden Spike. I don't know that I'm going to go for the MMR. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice idea. I don't know that I'm going to necessarily target it. once I get down into the office space and get settled a little bit and see what I can really do once I have a space that I don't have to like clean everything up every night, I will definitely look into what sort of bigger scope projects I can do. And one of them might be doing some of the, the different certificates for the MMR program. The Trade Freak is saying that I could donate it to his layout if he wants. And Steve 87th PSAP is saying that Steve Childers will take it. He could use it as spare parts. Oh, that's too funny. So Nisi's saying she's going to start with the Golden Spike, and she wants to have the MMR in 5 years. If people... are there people interested in doing the MMR that are in this group? And I partially ask because, like, would that be interesting to see somebody who doesn't really understand what the whole MMR program is to kind of like go through that whole program and maybe even to try and do it as a group? Like Nisi says, you don't even know what it is?
Master Model Railroader.
Yeah, so the NMRA has what they call their achievement program. And the achievement program has different modules, and you need to get a certain amount of points to get a certain amount of you get a certain amount of points, and then you get certificates in different areas. Split Rock 323, this gentleman right here is a Master Model Railroader, so he can definitely answer any questions for you. Hey, Adam, I'm in the NMRA Sunrise Division as well. Yes, you do have to be an NMRA member. That is true, but that's the easiest hurdle. And Frank Steeler fan, did you? I don't remember where I put it. I really have no idea where I put it. I took. If you go back to the very beginning of the video, Frank, I was showing off your little the button thing you sent me. This thing. We actually had it out of the box and we had it playing sounds. We played the Christmas or the circus sounds and some other sounds in it. So it works, and I'm probably gonna take it apart a little bit, clean it, and then go from there. But yeah, so the Master Model Railroader, it's an achievement program. Part of the idea of the achievement program is that they want you to be a well-rounded model railroader. So the idea is that you get points in each of the categories, and you have to get enough points in each category to get each category, but then also get enough categories to... am I not in the Sunrise Division? I thought I was in the Sunrise Division because I get emails from them all the time. Maybe I'm not in the Sunrise Division. I don't know what I'm in. I get very confused.
What you do is, even if you don't get MMR overall, you can always work for like individual ones and whatnot.
So I am in the Sunrise Trail Division, which might be different than the Sunrise Division. Oh no, it says Central Time. I don't know. For all I know, I could be in the wrong division. I don't know what I'm in. I'm in New York City. I don't know what division I'm supposed to be in. Don't wait too long to clean it, Heath. I put spiders in it for you. Oh, Frank, I have wiped that thing down with disinfectant, and there is still nastiness coming off of it, so I am definitely going to get the contact cleaner out and soak that thing, because I don't know what is going on with that.
Leaching off the plastic.
What it seems like is that somebody spilled coffee on it, is what it kind of seems like. And there's kind of that sticky coffee feeling. So Train Freak says he doesn't know what it covers, and Container Man says there is no division. I don't think that that's true. Let's see if we can figure this out. Divisions. Give me a second. We're getting there. Okay.
Yeah, going for Golden Spike is definitely like a good first step for people who, are getting into the hobby or who have been into it for a while. They don't really get a lot of traction with it, apparently. So the more people applying for it, the better, I guess.
Well, I don't think a lot of people know about it. I think
No,
it's...
I didn't know.
I didn't know about it until, can't remember, a couple weeks ago, I think.
But then I'm in a different country.
So, where's Arkansas? So here's Louisiana, right? And here's Texas. So Arkansas would be above Louisiana? Is this Arkansas?
Above
I can never remember.
Very good.
I am terrible at geography. Okay,
Arkansas is in the red there.
Yeah, so in the MCOR division. So what is the MCOR? The Mid-Continent region. So the newsletter is called the Kibitzer. The president is Brad Sloan, MMR. And it's based out of Missouri. And let's see, is there a division in Arkansas? It doesn't really say. It's probably hard to...
Little Rock area, 2913.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You're not too far from Little Rock, right? So, here in northern Arkansas as well.
He's closer to Little Rock.
Cowboy Line Division. Yeah, so they're definitely... Oh, there's a Fallen Flags Division. Very interesting. So there is even a place for Jason the Train Freak in the NMRA. Same as Kansas. Oh, is that the one you're in, Container Man? Oh, Split Rock wants me to click on the NER. Go back up here. Boy. Northeastern region. Okay, let me go back here. I gotta share it again. So here's the Northeast region. So I believe I am in this one, the Sunrise Trail Division.
Yep. It says Manhattan.
Yeah. So I don't know how... hey Gus, welcome. I don't know how there's a Sunrise Trail on Division 1 of the... Yeah. So who was saying that they were in the Sunrise Division? Yeah, so Adam is saying his is based in Aurora, Colorado in the Rocky Mountain region. So there are two Sunrise Divisions?
One Sunrise Trail.
So Andy says he thinks I should be looking into going at the NMRA Volunteer Achievement Program and the Author Achievement Program. I want to talk to somebody about the Author one, because I think people that do YouTube videos should be able to qualify for the Author one. I don't think they should have to do a clinic like they were done 30 years ago with a PowerPoint presentation and all that stuff. I think I'd like to see it get open up to other, other opportunities.
I saw a discussion on that on NMRX. I don't remember what the outcome was, but...
Oh, there's been a lot of discussions on it, and it usually devolves into a lot of craziness. So Adam says he's just Sunshine. I'm kind of curious. Let's go back and see if we can find the Just Sunshine division. So Adam would be in the Rocky Mountain region. That be Colorado?
Yes.
I guess let's go up a little higher here. Colorado would be
Blue, light blue.
RMR,
In
Rocky
the
Mountain
middle.
region. And let's see, silver, northern, southern. Oh, here, look, sunrise division. Huh. So why is there a sunrise division and a sunrise trail division? Who came up with that? And why are
Probably
they
'cause someone
advertising
wanted it.
for cruise ships on their website in Colorado, which is a landlocked state?
Because they go on cruises.
Yeah, so we're trying to change this to, I think Gordy being the president, I think it's going to be running off slowly. Yeah, that's what happens. I run pretty slowly myself right now. Andy says I could do a clinic for NMRAX anytime you want. But Andy, could I do a clinic the way I want to do a clinic? Or would I have to do a clinic in the style of the sort of that, you know, hi, thanks for coming. Today we're going to do da. But like, I don't want to do like I don't want to do that. PK or cruises. I don't know. So Gordy won. Yes, Gordy Robinson is going to be the president. I don't know when the transition of power happens, but absolutely is happening. Author Part C allows for internet submissions, but no more than half the points can be claimed for these videos. Yeah, and I don't understand that. I don't get that, but I got some of the members over on to our own Facebook page now. Niecy says July. What's the? Oh, is he takes over in July? But I think it's a good thing that Gordy's going to be in there. I think it's going to change the conversation. I think NMRAX in general has already shifted the conversation significantly, and I think it's going to make a big difference. Hey, Big G, welcome. So, yeah, I mean, you can do a clinic in any style you want. Gordy's sworn in July. Oh, don't tell me I can do a clinic in any style I want, because that might get thrown out of the NMRA if that's the case. But yeah. So I think I am gonna start. Oh, who did we just lose?
Steve? No?
No, Steve is there. Oh, James.
I'm here.
James disappeared on us. Started talking about the NMRA, and James says, "That's it. I'm out of here." So I am going to start wrapping this up. I've been on for a couple minutes tonight. We still have 35 people watching, but I do need to get myself to bed. It's been a long day. So, but I'm glad I got these little detail parts done. I'm not done with the details. There's still a lot of details that I would want to do if this was going to be on my layout. But I need to have this submitted by May 30th. So I got to start really pushing ahead if I'm going to show anything that's a little bit more done, I guess we can say. PKW says we lost the shot of that amazing conveyor. Yeah, he's James is just doing a great job. That's his NMRBO setup, and he has scratch built some stuff for it. It's just really impressive. And Adam, I know you're in Colorado, so it's only 12 to 7, but here on the East Coast, it's a little earlier. I've been driving since 4 a.m. Frank's waiting for somebody to actually. Wow, how cool would that be? telephone lines on a model railroad where you can make a phone call from one part of the railroad to another.
Whoa.
That's actually kind of a really cool idea. And not a very difficult idea. I mean, how many volts is a phone line, though? I don't remember.
48?
The 48?
I don't know.
I wasn't sure if it was 70 or if it was
I don't know. It's a long time since I've worked on a normal phone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't even... So Andy is saying 50 volts, but I don't know if that's just over in the UK. Well, so PKNW, it's not about telephones necessarily for, like, the operators. It's, like, literally, like... I think it would be so much fun to have, like, Aunt Bev's house. And then, like, have, you know, Nancy's house on the other side. And that you can literally, like, have a phone call between Aunt Bev and Nancy, but it's, like, an actual, like, phone connection.
Wow, I don't have a phone.
I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool,
Wouldn't be
though.
that hard to do.
I don't think it would. So he's saying simple twisted pair attached to a pole. I would do, I would just do two single wires on each side of the telephone pole. That would be my two wires. So I could do like a, 28 gauge wire, let's say, on each side of the telephone pole. And I guess if it was 48 volts, it would be kind of shocking if somebody touched it. So it'd probably have to be insulated.
What's a little shock like that?
I mean, it's probably. I mean, you can do it with a low enough amperage that it probably wouldn't actually hurt anybody.
But
But-
it shouldn't be. But yeah.
Let's see. But when you pick up, there you go. When you pick up the phone, it drops the volts to a max of 9.
Yeah, it's way low.
Yeah. So right. So the 48 volts is to get the distance, but then once you're connected, it's only 9. So you probably could run it off of like a 9-volt battery. Most people don't even want to power catenary. I've got.
Back in the
I'm a little
They are-
obsessed with GG1s, and I do not want catenary on my layout. So, yes, I agree.
back
You
in
do
the
not
day,
want
when
power.
Well, I wouldn't be able to do that because I don't have a phone line.
You'd have to make one. Go
I
ahead,
have
Steve.
to.
What were you saying?
back in the day, where you had all the electronics you have now, our float for our fraternity house, I put together using phones. All right, all the animation stations and the driver and the walkers alongside and everything, because my dad worked for the phone company. Got me a whole bunch of old phones to put together, and I ran it off of 12. He gave me the wiring diagram. He ran it off the 12-volt battery of the float. So
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that have railroads that operate railroads that have little, private phone hookups so that they can talk, from one to another. So yeah, I mean, I don't think why. How fun would that be to actually like put it inside your buildings and people can go around your layout and talk to people in other places on the building? I just think that'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we still have 37 people in here. I feel like we should keep going, but I don't like.
Just because Tom's not on.
Yeah. Both Lackawanna Railfan and Nick from Nick's Crossings are on. So if any of the moderators can actually just link both of their streams, why don't we head over and give those guys a little bit of support on their streams? And I'm gonna basically start wrapping this up. If people want to post in the chat things that they've got going along with their YouTube channels or something going on in your life that you want to share with people, please post them. The train freak's saying to go for 3 more hours. Please post them up in the chat. Let people know what's going on and what you're up to, so that other people can find your channel. Frank, Tom wasn't on tonight. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what happened. Tom wasn't on tonight.
Yesterday. Yeah, he had a layout update come out yesterday, didn't he?
Yep.
Yes, he did. Yeah, yesterday? No, See, it's Tuesday here, so yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, it's still Monday here, Greg. We're still we're still living the life. But yeah, I'll probably be over on Nick's Crossings after I clean up a little bit. But yeah, post up in the chat, say hello to people. Anybody on the panel got anything they want to say before we head out of here?
No, thanks for putting up with us.
You and Steve weren't too bad tonight.
Yeah, right.
I thought I was pretty quiet.
You were pretty quiet. I know. I had you muted half the show, so. But yeah, so for me, I've got my Friday show at 11:30 to 1 on Friday. It's just sort of a hangout. I am doing Sidetrack Sunday. As I mentioned earlier, Sidetrack Sunday is going to be Mother's Day, and I hope to have this Mother's Day car running by then. And I'm still working on getting that office space, going through the legal review of the lease contract right now. So that's kind of the next couple of things on my agenda. And I'm going to, for the next Modeling Monday, I'm going to work on getting this painted up so that next Monday I can start putting it together. And everyone wants to know, for Mother's Day, what is Rick going to be dressing up on Sunday for Mother's Day?
Very good question.
Anybody want to take a guess?
The church lady.
Ooh, that would be fun. Oh, if you did not.
We used to have a character here called Auntie Jack, and it was a bloke dressed up as a woman, but he had a moustache.
There you go.
And he used to ride a motorbike.
Miss Doubtfire would be good as well, because Rick does have some kids, so he could take care of some kids. Oh, Nisi says, "Oh, Weeping Willow." It's Mother's Day. It's supposed to be a joyous day. It's not a weeping day. It's a joyous day. Church lady. I loved Dana. What's the name? Dana Carvey?
Dana Carvey. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Church Lady was a good
Yeah.
It was a good bit. I liked older Saturday Night Live. I'm not big on the modern Saturday Night Live. The old one, Chevy Chase.
Yeah, they were good, yeah.
Back in that day. But
Yeah.
but even when Dana Carvey was there, it was good too.
Yep.
Sorry, Steve?
I said they got too political.
Well,
It's one thing.
everything does it.
Yep.
Everything does at some point. Mrs. Bucket. Who's Mrs. Bucket? That sounds familiar,
Mr.
but I can't
Bucket
place
woman,
it.
yeah. Mrs. Bouquet. Keeping up
right.
appearances.
Right. But yeah, Mad TV was great too.
Richard, mind the
Yeah,
bicycle.
I don't even think Rick is here to take notes on what we want him to wear.
Oh, no Victoria's Secret. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
So James from Boulder Creek sent me an email. He said his internet went a little flaky, which is why he dropped out. But yeah, please support everybody. Please check everybody out. I may do a pop-up live stream if I could get my my test rig going again. I just got to make sure I can get all the computers hooked up the way I want them hooked up. But yeah, I may do a pop-up, so I may see some people around. But if not, I will definitely see people Friday at 11:30. So on that note, I appreciate everyone being here, and I will catch everybody shortly.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.